What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTubes and the interwebs? Cthulhu the Dark One back with another Transformers Prime review. This time we're taking a look at Transformers Prime, Robots in Disguise, Deluxe Class Arcee. Pretty cool little vehicle mode, fairly show accurate-ish. The motorcycles and jets always kind of have the problem, and this one is really good. The motorcycles and or jet characters always suffer either in vehicle mode or robot mode with kibble from one or the other. This one, you get both modes are pretty good. There's definitely more extra motorcycle-y stuff in robot mode than needs to be, I think. But as far as bike mode, it all conceals very well. You can see her legs right here. If you pay close enough attention, there's her hands right there. But considering the overall size of the figure, it roughly doubles in size when you transform her. Not too bad, and it is just the kind of normal deluxe class, which aren't meant to be anything fantastic. So, show you the box real quick in case you don't know. That's what her box looks like. Excuse me. 2 weapons combined. Yeah, I guess they couldn't really do that much of a gimmick on the figure, so they made her 2 sort of crappy weapons be able to plug into each other. She comes with a ridiculously oversized gun. There she is in bike mode, and it is as long as she is. And then her arm blade, which isn't too bad in robot mode. For vehicle mode, you're supposed to snap them on the front tire, either side, whatever your preference is, but that looks absolutely ridiculous to me. So, but anyway, you basically could plug these 2 together and whatever. Nothing fantastic by any means. But anyway, rest of the package, not much. Gratuitous hub advertisement, choking hazard, art of the character. Back of the package, more pictures of said character. Notable that most of the time on some of these Transformer Prime figures, the picture of the robot mode and or vehicle mode usually will have some more detail than the toy actually does. This one's actually completely accurate. There you can see how her gun and blade pops together. Like I said, fairly useless. There you can see it sticking out the front of her on vehicle mode. But yeah. Excuse me. But on to the figure itself. Pretty nice little motorcycle mode. Has a little kickstand you can flip up. Rolls really good, for a motorcycle, other than falling on its side. Pretty simplistic transformation, as with most of them. So we'll go ahead and get into that, and I'll show off the weapons. First, what you want to do, you want to take these wings on the side and just pop them loose, like so. There's a couple different things you can do. I'll go ahead and loosen up the arms a little bit here, just kind of get them off of the main body. They just tab on there. The legs you just bring down, then down again. As far as her head and backpack, you lift this up, and as you lift it, her head kind of auto transforms. Like when you transform her waist up, I think the joints actually, the mechanism's actually tied to her waist. When you straighten her waist up, it makes her head auto transform, pop up into position, and you kind of get that snapped in. The backpack, you pretty much just fold back down. The wings are kind of there. You can, if you want, fold the wheel back and rotate it around just to try to hide it a little bit more. And honestly, for as small as she is, from the front, it's not a bad profile. You can tell it's back there. From the side, pretty bad. From the front, not so much. And then as far as all that's left for the legs is to pull them apart. The wheel is in 2 pieces, and it has a couple pegs in the kind of back part of the foot there. And then what you'll do is you'll show it a little bit better from this angle. You see the black foot there? That black piece is her foot. And what you want is it's kind of a notched hinge, so it seems kind of sticky. Just kind of rotate it up and just kind of fit it into the little indentation in here. And there are her feet. And again, front profile, great. Side profile, actually not that bad considering. And you do get a little bit of ankle articulation, somewhat. Knee articulation, full knee. And ball jointed hip joint. Pretty good flexibility there. Excuse me. Now waist articulation, just because of the transformation. Ball jointed shoulders, which actually pretty well detailed. It's actually fairly show accurate. It's kind of like a random support beam or something from the construction of the motorcycle. That's on a little ball joint, only limited by the sculpting and her body. And then she has kind of ball jointed elbow and ball jointed wrists. So now you just rotate everything around so you can pose her how you wanted. And there you have Arcee in robot mode. And like I said, aside from the backpack, but that's kind of a thing with the motorcycle characters and the jet characters alike. Excuse me, my nose is running horribly. Figures, as soon as I hit record, my nose starts running. It's got to go somewhere, pretty much. There she is. She's actually kind of a short figure. She's next to a can of Coke. One of the shorter figures in the deluxe line. She's either right at Cliff Jumper's height, or Cliff Jumper is just a smidge taller than she is, but not by much. But honestly, a pretty good little figure. Fairly show accurate, aside from, like this whole piece is shorter on the show. But it doesn't look bad. The backpack, but all the minor details that are in the show are there. Like her little cuffs on her arms. It's not painted separately. Hopefully the camera will pick it up. But you can kind of see how it's molded in. Like, basically in the show, this windshield becomes this part of her chest, like the top part, and it has like two segments that sit on top of the middle part, and they molded it there to kind of give the simulation of it, but it's just kind of painted black, so it's kind of hard to see. Really good face detail, like really, really good on that. It's got her little red jewel on her head there. That's kind of the one show inaccuracy on the show. Like the rest of this antenna, outline of her face, her cuffs, and some of her knee pads are pink, or an off shade of red. I've debated going back and touching it up with a Sharpie, but color just doesn't match right, so kind of never did. As far as the weapons, you got her retarded. Even in robot mode, you can see comes up to her waist, and but you can either, there's a peg hole on the bottom of her arm, you can either peg it there, or she can sort of hold it by slipping it in. There's like a kind of a peg right here. Just kind of slip that in her hand, and it kind of gives the transform down to her arm, but not really because it's humongous and way oversized sort of feel. Generally, I just leave it laying behind her when I display her. Now, her arm blades, I really do like, and I'll make a note that the little red on there is not out of the package. That is my doing with a Sharpie. It would just be plain gray, just something to kind of break up the color a little bit. Just my personal preference. A lot of these Transformers Prime toys, Sharpies will be your best friend to either touch them up or make them a bit more show accurate. But anyway, you just plug that in the peg hole. And this one actually doesn't look too bad. It's a little oversized. Well, not really oversized. I don't know. It kind of comes out from her arm too far. But it doesn't look as bad as the humongous gun in either position. And, yeah, so pretty cool little figure. Those are the Transformers Prime toys I have not been disappointed with the ones I've been able to find. Hopefully, my little rinky-dink stores will get some of the newer ones, and I'll find a way to get some of them, but, only ones I've been able to find are, like, just kind of the basic set, like her, Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, Ratchet, Optimus, Megatron, and Soundwave. So, I'll be getting videos of those up very soon, and, yeah, so pretty cool little figure, Arcee from Transformers Prime.